All right, let's dive right in. We're about to take a look at Robert Greene's The Laws of Human Nature to really decode the hidden patterns that drive all of us. Think of it like this. What if you had a user manual for the human race? Including, and this is the important part, for yourself. Let's get started.
So let's kick things off with a question that I'm guessing we've all asked ourselves at some point. Why are we so often surprised by what people do? You ever been completely blindsided by someone's actions, misjudged their intentions? Well, the answer usually doesn't lie in how mysterious they are, but in our own blind spots.
And that brings us to our first big idea. It's like trying to drive with a massive blind spot in your mirror. The biggest obstacle to seeing people clearly isn't actually out there. No, it's in here. It's the blind spot created by our own mind.
Robert Greene nails it with his core argument. Our biggest mistakes, the reason we go astray, comes from just how irrational we truly are. See, we love to think of ourselves as these logical, rational beings, right? But the truth is, our minds are really being run by our emotions. And if you need a huge, real-world example, just think about the 2008 financial crash. That was a textbook case of collective emotion completely steamrolling rational thought on a global scale.
Okay, so let's zoom in on one of these emotional traps. It's called conviction bias. This is our brain's built-in shortcut to mistake confidence for actual competence. You know, when someone presents an idea with a ton of passion, with really energetic words and big gestures, we just automatically assume they know what they're talking about. We can't help but think, wow, they must be right to be so passionate.
And this bias, it's like leaving the front door of your mind wide open for manipulators. Demagogues, skilled salespeople, they're experts at this. They know if they just cloak their ideas in enough drama and conviction, our emotional brain gets totally hooked. Our rational brain just kind of takes a nap and we buy into the whole thing, no questions asked. So, if our own emotions are a blind spot and we can't always trust what people say, what are we supposed to do? How do we get to the truth? Well, the key is to learn a second language. Not a spoken one, but the language our bodies speak when our mouths are busy saying something else entirely.
There's this incredible story about a brilliant psychotherapist named Milton Erickson. At 17, he was paralyzed by polio. He literally couldn't do anything but lie there and observe the world around him. He'd watch his sisters for hours and started noticing this huge gap between what they said and what their bodies were doing. You know, they'd say yes to something, but their entire body language was just screaming no. He was forced to become an absolute master of this second, much more honest, nonverbal language.
The great thing is, we can all learn to spot these signals. You want to look for the little cues that leak a person's true feelings. For example, ever share good news with someone and get a moment of just dead silence? That could be envy. Or there's the classic mixed signal. They're saying, oh, that's a fantastic idea, but their jaws clench tight. These are the little cracks in the facade that show you what's really going on underneath. Okay, spotting those little emotional tells in the moment, that's level 1. Now we're going to level 2, looking for something much deeper, much more permanent. We're talking about a person's fundamental character. You've heard this a million times, right? Someone gets a big promotion or a little bit of fame, and suddenly they're a completely different person. We all look at them and say, wow, power really changed them. We see them get more arrogant, more demanding, and we just blame the new position.
But Greene argues that's a huge misunderstanding. Power doesn't corrupt or change people. It reveals them. Think about it. All the social pressure to be polite, to keep people happy, it just kind of melts away. Power gives people the freedom to be more of who they've always been, good or bad. The mask just comes off.
This story just illustrates the point perfectly. Back in 1969, a man named Jeb Magruder is interviewing with Nixon's chief of staff, Bob Haldeman. In the formal interview, Haldeman is impressive. He's sharp, intelligent, the whole package. But afterward, a golf cart isn't immediately available, and Haldeman just loses it. He becomes frantic, harsh, insulting the staff over this tiny little problem. And in that one unguarded moment, his true character was revealed. A man with deep control issues and a vicious streak. The very same traits that would later define the Watergate era.
So we focused a lot on decoding other people. But the ultimate goal of all this knowledge isn't about judging them or gaining power. No, it's about achieving a really profound sense of inner freedom and self-mastery.
To really get this, let's look at the life of the writer Anton Chekhov. His childhood was one of constant pain and powerlessness. I mean, he was ruled by this tyrannical father, and he never knew from one moment to the next what would set him off. His whole world was just miserable, and it felt completely out of his control.
And then, a major turning point.
His father fled town, completely abandoning him. Left to figure things out for himself, Chekhov made this powerful vow: no more complaining, no more blaming others. And then this profound realization just hit him. His town was still miserable, he was still poor, nothing on the outside had changed at all. The only thing that had changed was his attitude. He couldn't control his circumstances, but he realized he had the ultimate power to control his perspective. And in that, he found true freedom.
And that is the ultimate takeaway here. Understanding all the irrationality, the masks people wear, all of it, it shouldn't make you a cynic. It should be liberating. It allows you to stop taking everything so personally. If someone's cold toward you, you can realize, hey, that's about them, not me. This knowledge frees you from just emotionally reacting to everything and empowers you to calmly understand the person in front of you and, just as important, the person inside you.
Look, at the end of the day, this knowledge is a tool. It's a superpower, really. You can use it to navigate social situations, choose better partners, and really master your own emotional patterns. So the final question isn't just about what you can now see. It's about what you're going to do with that clarity.